everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, bright and breezy on Tuesday morning, and there is massive breaking news from the world of wrestling as a major WWE star has, well, according to PW Torch, has handed in his notice in WWE. He'll be off. We'll have more details on that in just a bit. We're also going to talk a little bit about Raw and all the things that happened on Monday Night Raw that have major permutations for WrestleMania 35. Some big matches have been set up, 2 big singles title matches featuring some of the biggest stars in all of wrestling. Loads of good stuff, so let's crack on with it and let's take a look at all of the news. That's right, according to PW Torch, Dean Ambrose has handed in his notice in WWE and will be off. He'll be out of the company by after WrestleMania apparently, which is startling news. He's a big star. He's obviously been a part of the main roster scene since 2012 when he debuted alongside Reigns and Rollins as The Shield. And since then, since the breakup of The Shield, he sort of had that spell as a cheesy babyface, but he did win the WWE Championship. Then he turned heel recently, of course, and his heel character has just been a bit of a mishmash. It hasn't been the best written character. And if these sources of PW Torches are to be believed, apparently they're sources close to Ambrose himself, then he doesn't like hokey stuff backstage, and it's hard to argue with the fact that on occasion his character since the breakup of The Shield has been a little bit hokey. In fact, I'd maybe even go as far as to suggest that hokiness has been his character's main attribute. Now, if you look at Dean Ambrose's character prior to that main roster call-up, he was a much darker, more serious individual. He was a little bit like the Joker from The Dark Knight. He was all psychotic and twisted and spoke quietly and then loudly, and then he'd seem a little bit unstable. And then they sort of dialed down all the psychotic aspects of that character and just sort of distilled him into the wacky, lunatic fringe. Oh, look what he's doing. He's bouncing off the ropes. He's doing the wacky line. And I can totally find this story believable. Now, according to PW Torch, Ambrose's storylines will be wrapped up around the time of WrestleMania, although apparently there is even a possibility that it could be done sooner in the road to WrestleMania. It would explain why he was eliminated from the Royal Rumble by Aleister Black, obviously an NXT entrant in the Royal Rumble, and also on Raw where he put over Seth Rollins totally clean as a whistle, and was then attacked by Nia Jax. This is a very, very interesting news story as well on a deeper level, because Dean Ambrose could really signify the first major singles WWE star to leave and maybe head to pastures new. I think you know what I'm referring to, of course, All Elite Wrestling, which must be seen right now with the financial clout they've got and the massive marketing behind them with the Bucks and Cody and loads of popular guys involved. They could be seen as like a shining beacon, like some real alternative big place to go if you want to get away from WWE. I'm wondering, as I just stated, whether Ambrose will be the first of some sort of exodus. It's quite difficult to decide what's going to happen. In other news now, focusing more on WWE and what is going to happen, or at least what we think is going to happen at WrestleMania 35, 2 huge title matches were set up last night on Monday Night Raw. So it became clear from Seth Rollins' words towards the start of the show that this year the Rumble winners have been given the choice. They're making it clear that they can go for either title belt regardless of which brand they're on. So even if you're, for example, Becky Lynch, you can go for the Raw Women's Championship, currently held by Ronda Rousey, and that's exactly what Becky Lynch did. She made a surprise appearance on Raw, even though she's a SmackDown superstar, got right in Ronda Rousey's face and cut one hell of a promo. I don't want to say a babyface or a heel promo. She had some harsh words for Rousey like a heel would, but she was getting cheered and getting the reaction of the huge mega babyface star that she is. So it looks as though it will be Ronda versus Becky at WrestleMania 35, but don't take that as a 100% guarantee, because I reckon that Charlotte Flair still has a serious claim to get involved with that title match. She was, of course, last eliminated by Becky Lynch at the Royal Rumble, and Becky wasn't an official entrant in the match. She replaced Lana at the last second when she sort of demanded it from Finlay, and he sort of went, go on then, get yourself in the Rumble. And then, of course, she last eliminated Charlotte Flair. We might even see Nia Jax getting involved a little bit too, because she was eliminated by Becky, even though Becky wasn't an official entrant in the match. But at the same time, Nia seems to have been moved into the tag title picture alongside Tamina. We'll have to see how that develops, and I'm sure it will tonight on SmackDown. But over in the men's division, Seth Rollins agonized and tossed and turned over whether he was going to challenge Brock Lesnar, the Universal Champion, or Daniel Bryan, the WWE Champion. And then he, after provocation from Paul Heyman, who said there's no choice here, you might as well go for Daniel Bryan because you've got no chance against Lesnar, he came out and attacked Lesnar, and Lesnar beat the crap out of him. Several F5s, like literally 4 or 5 F5s. Somehow Rollins was still conscious after all of that, grabbed the microphone and solidified his challenge for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Now, it seems logical that Rollins will be the guy to eventually topple the Beast because Lesnar has looked so dominant in his Universal Championship reign when he bothers to show up. But on the other hand, we all thought that Roman Reigns was going to beat Lesnar in the main event of last year's WrestleMania, and that really didn't happen. Roman Reigns lost to Brock Lesnar, and then we saw the footage on 24 that aired after the Royal Rumble of Lesnar striding backstage, chucking the Universal title at Vince McMahon, and just walking off to the back. And he's kept it ever since. It's quite a bizarre state of affairs. So even though Rollins seems like the prime company guy, popular, workhorsey sort of candidate to beat Lesnar, when Lesnar's involved, there's never any guarantee. So that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching this news update. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to, at Jack the Jobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic and check out our Patreon too, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And never forget, of course, if you haven't done so already, to hit subscribe and to join us.